Imagine a world where the government picks which religion you have to follow. Sounds pretty unsettling, right? That's actually why the separation of church and state exists.
It's wild to think how easily freedom could slip away if leaders started deciding whose beliefs win. And it's not about being anti-religion, either. It's about stopping coercion.
Totally. Today, we're digging into what real religious freedom means, why the government shouldn't play favorites, and how protecting everyone's conscience makes our society stronger.
We'll break down how private faith is your right, why public law must belong to everyone, and the dangers of mixing theology with government. Plus, we'll talk about what reality-based humanism actually looks like.
What surprises me most is how often people confuse separation of church and state with hostility toward religion. In reality, it's meant to protect everyone, including religious folks.
Absolutely, it's about keeping faith voluntary. Christians shouldn't have to live under Muslim law, and Muslims shouldn't be forced to obey Christian law. No one should be compelled to follow someone else's beliefs.
And non-religious people shouldn't have theology imposed on them either. It's all about freedom of conscience, letting people decide for themselves, not by government decree.
That actually reminds me how laws work best when they're grounded in evidence, rights, dignity, and reality. Otherwise, you end up with rules that only serve one group and that chips away at everyone's freedom.
When you think about it, a reality-based humanist society protects both religious and non-religious people by keeping government neutral. That's the real key to freedom.
Exactly when government stays fair and sticks to reality, we avoid forcing anyone's theology onto others. Faith remains a personal choice, not a public mandate.
It really comes down to making sure public law serves the whole community and isn't shaped by one group's beliefs. That way, everyone's rights and dignity are honored.
So, if you want to protect religious freedom for everyone, the next step is to support policies that keep government neutral and reality-based. That's how you safeguard everyone's conscience.
Let's wrap up with 3 big takeaways. First, real religious freedom means the government doesn't decide which beliefs win. Second, separation of church and state is about stopping coercion, not attacking religion. Third, law must be grounded in evidence and dignity, not just theology.
If you want to make a difference, support leaders and policies that keep government fair and grounded in reality. That's the best way to protect freedom of conscience for everyone, religious or not.